Today we're going to be fixing my farm jacks. These are Amazon specials, but I have lifted a lot of things over the years with them and they've held up pretty good. Now a couple of weeks ago, the cross pin that goes in this little climbing pin here fell out of this jack and left me kind of stranded with that, but I had my backup jack, so then it worked that weekend. But the next weekend, it bent and fell out. So that left me with two dead farm jacks. The last weekend I was sitting there needing to hitch up a trailer to the Jeep. And well, I haven't actually fixed the trailer jack on that and it has completely quit working. So I've been using one of these to pick it up and put it on there. And it's a tandem axle, so it's pretty heavy. So I ended up deadlifting that onto the Jeep and I am getting way too old for that. All right, well, let's get this and set out of the way. Move my parts over here out of the way. Let's lay this down and this cross pin is a little bent too. So we're going to go ahead and knock it out. See what condition it's actually in. It just about fell out of there just then. Oh yeah, that's not straight either. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and just slide this pin out. A little bit of rust on it, and that's not helping the situation. Now these cross pins don't really take a lot of stress unless you do like I do and don't lubricate your jack properly and try to make the handle go. And then they take a little hit. Now what almost fits is these roll pins from Tractor Supply. They're 3/16 by 2 inches. They almost fit, but they will slide through. So we're going to make a little adjustment to them. This is where it gets sketchy. What I'm going to do, these need to be just a touch wider. So you lay it in your vise. See, I've got this perfect little slot right here. It's like this was made for this. Take your smallest cold chisel, or at least my smallest cold chisel. Put it right there in the middle. And a couple of gentle taps. And that will expand it out just like that. Usually works. All right, well, since I know that the jack kind of getting stuck is what tears up these pins, I'm going to go ahead and clean these pins up with a wire brush. But this is where you put your safety glasses on, because you don't want one of these bristles going in your eye. I've had that happen before, and it's not fun. See, nice and slick. And you always want these to be pretty smooth and lost, apparently. You always want these to be smooth and well lubricated because, oops. Okay, I know I cheated the glasses. You want these to be smooth because if they don't slide in and out easily, this jack tends to fight you every step of the way. So, we're just going to start sliding them back together. I know I could go all out and really clean this whole thing up, but I'm not going to. Now, these pins are identical, these climbing pins. So you can just put your climbing pin in here, get your spring slid in there. And these are definitely not as tight as a real high lift jack would be. Now these have been spread just a little bit. So you got to pull your spring up. Find your hole. Then you can pull your spring up over here. Make the discovery that you did not quite open that up enough. All right, little adjustment there. Now slide it back up. Much better. Now then, take your Harbor Freight Snap-on clone here. Still my favorite hammer. And just take your pin. Tap it in until it's centered. Okay. That one's, let's come up just a hair. Okay. That seems pretty solid. All right, well now these little levers right here, the up-down lever you gotta hit, they have a bad habit of coming loose right here, this bolt. So when I'm working on one of these, and I know it hasn't been done on this one, I take it, put just a little drop of Loctite on that sucker. And even on this Chinese version, this is just a 9/16 bolt. The little blue Loctite will do wonders right here. If I can make a wrench work. There we go. That is nice and smooth right there. Pop that in place. Back over here on this second one. Let's see if we can get this pin out. And we'll see if we have to bend this one. See, we'll get this pin in here. I already went ahead and expanded these, so tap this one in. You want to make sure to go all the way across. It does not appear that this one will have to be bent. Apparently that's what you get for having a cheap jack. Should have started with this one. I'd look like I know what I'm doing better. Okay. We'll just go ahead and catch that pin, raise that spring, and you just slide it in the little hole. And one thing to do is make sure the angle is going that direction, that way that it climbs properly. So let's okay. That's not quite as good as I'd like it. I like that just to be a hair further over. There we go. Okay. Now then, I don't know. Lubrication never hurt anything. It's set to climb. Okay, well, we learned something. They're not all built the same. This one, there's plenty of clearance for this pin. And let me lower this one down. And on this one, oh, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here, this pin has to be bent up at just a real slight U shape. Otherwise, it binds the pin on the frame here. I don't know. I guess they were having a bad day. But anyway, that brings both of my jacks back into service. While that one I don't love certainly climbs. And I better add my Loctite to this one so bad things don't happen. Huh, that's actually, maybe this is a better jack. This one's nice and snug in the hole. We're going to add the Loctite anyway. Okay, get that all tightened back down. Taking longer than I expected, but okay. Now, I will admit WD-40 isn't the best lubricant for this. You can get lubricants that will stick to it much better, but it was handy. So, a lot of times that's what I reach for, whatever's in arm's reach. Okay, one more test. I got that a little too snug. Okay, locked in. Locked in. There we go. All right, it's the same clunky old self. Now I know these aren't people's favorite jacks, but they think they're dangerous. But to be honest, if you know what you're doing with these are fairly safe. Just remember, don't put anything you want to keep right in this area between the handle and the frame when you've got any weight out here. Because if you let go of this handle at the wrong time, it will slam back like that. And if your head's in there, you're going to have a bad day. Ask me how I know. Well, only about 5 minutes worth of work per jack and $2 a jack. You can't hardly beat that. Especially when you're fixing something that's lifted half the projects around this place. Well, thanks for watching.